Welcome back. In last week's video, we learned how to set up your TrueChat account and get started with TrueChat. In this video, we will learn how to create a very rudimentary chatbot so that you can get started and jump right in building chatbots with TrueChat. So I will log in and we land in the TrueChat dashboard. First thing is go to Administration on the sidebar menu and tap on or click on Chatbots. And as you see, there are no chatbots created for this account. And since we want to create a chatbot, all we have to do is click the little green button at the top and we will land in our chatbot gallery. Now the chatbot gallery includes a number of ready-to-go chatbots that have been created for you. However, today, since we want to learn how to create a chatbot from scratch, we're going to use the blank template chatbot and just click on Create. That will create the bot. Of course, there's nothing in it. So the first thing we want to do is go to Settings and give it a name. And for all of you Roadrunners fans, as you know, we've created the Acme Anvils company. And so we'll call it the Acme Anvils chatbot. Just called Acme Anvils bot. Now we don't need a job title, time zone, or working hours, which we will discuss in a future video. What we do want to do is add a little icon to our chatbot. So we will do that. That can be any image or graphic. And now we will save these settings and go back to the bot that we've created. And as you can see, there are no scripts. The chatbot in TrueChat consists of scripts and intents. We're not going to talk about intents today. That's where the artificial intelligence and natural language understanding comes in. But we're going to create a pre-created script or flow. So we will click the blue Add Script button and we will land in our visual flow builder, which is really cool. First thing we want to do is create a condition or start condition or trigger that will cause the chatbot to appear when the condition takes place. So there are a number of conditions that you can set for your trigger. However, today we're just going to use the time on the current page, meaning if a visitor is on the current page for, let's say, greater or equal to, let's make it 2 seconds, then the chatbot will appear. Of course, there are no steps, so we have to add another step. And we can do that by clicking on or just hovering over the little add button and add a step. Now you can see we've added our first step. If we click on that step, we can give it a name. One of the nice things about TrueChat is that everything gets a name. Your chatbot, your scripts, your intents, everything. So let's give it a name. Let's just greet the visitor. Let's call it greeting. Now we can just click on text to greet the user and we'll just type a little message saying welcome to Acme Anvils. Right. And that's our step. This will be a very simple step. I could add some additional items here to this step like video and images and some other things from this menu, but right now in this step that's all I want to do. Now I want to create a second step that will ask the visitor for their name. So all I have to do now is say we're going to add another step and let's move it over here and we'll give it a name saying request name. And that's great, and we will add some text saying please enter your first name. Now what we want to do is accept input from the user. So we will click on user input and we have a little user input editor that pops up. Now there are 3 different types of user input. There's quick replies, which are like buttons. We don't want to use that now. We want to use free text. We also have an option for quick replies and free text. But since we're just asking for a name, we want the user to type it in, we'll just set this for free text. Now we want to save this first name in a lead database. To do that couldn't be simpler. All we have to do is click on the fields and select first name. It will automatically be saved in the database so we can access it later and do email marketing and other activities. So I will click done, and basically that's it for collecting the name. Now what will happen is it will ask them for their first name, wait for them to enter their first name, and then save that name in the database. So what we want to do now is create a link from our greeting step to requesting the first name, and all I got to do is drag and drop. That's it. Now we want to add another step to request the email address. All we're going to do in this little chatbot, by the way, is to request a first name, an email address, repeat it back to the user for them to see what they've entered, and that's it. This is a very simple chatbot. So now we'll add another step similar to the last one, requesting their email address. Let's give it a capital. And as before, we'll ask them for their email address. And now we'll create another user input using free text, and we'll save that in, yes, you guessed it, email. And now we've requested their email. So what we want to do is link this step to the email step, and that's it. We can, by the way, we can go to any step and edit it and change it if we wish. We also can balance or reflow the flowchart so that we can make sure that it's all appearing on the screen. It's set up and organized very nicely. We can also fill the screen with it. We can zoom in, zoom out, and so forth. So now what we want to do, now that we've accepted their first name and their email address, let's thank them for the information and echo it back to them. So I'm going to add another step, and this is going to be confirmation. But normally we would ask them to correct any information that may be wrong, but today in this chatbot we're not going to do that. We're just going to echo it back to them. So we will just type in a text box. And let's put their name in here, and so we can personalize this a little bit. So we say thanks and their first name, so it will be personalized. We can add another text box here saying, here's the information you entered. And now we'll repeat it back to them. What we can do is even put asterisks around the term, the variable, the word, anything, and it will then bold that item. Now I'm going to place their email address as well, and also surround it with 2 asterisks, which will mark up the text with bolding. And that's that. Now that we've created our confirmation step, I think a good thing to do here would be to give them a way to exit. So what we will do is create a new step, and couldn't be simpler, just drag to the canvas and click on create a new step. And again, let's name that step tap to quit. Please click or tap quit to exit. And what we'll do now is add another user input. This time we'll use the quick reply, which is basically a button. And our button is created for us, but we want to give it a title, so we will call this quit. And when that button is clicked or tapped, we want it to go to a new step. However, we haven't created that step yet, so we'll come back to that. Now let's create that final step, and we will add and let's link the tap to quit step to terminate chat. And that's it. Now our chatbot is completed. All we have to do now is preview it to make sure it works. And we get a little preview chat widget that pops up, and you can see our little icon that we created before. And again, remember, we haven't customized this widget, which we will learn to do in a future video. But for now, we can just make sure everything is working. So let's type in our first name, and that works. And it's now asking for our email address. So let's type in our email address, and I will make up one. And now it says, thanks, Mike. See, it knows our name. Here's the information you entered. It's now echoing back the information I entered and giving me the button, giving me the option to quit by tapping the button. If I click that button, it should end the chat and give me the post-chat survey. And I think this was a great chat, so I'm going to submit that. And that's it. Now we've created our first chatbot. We can improve this a lot, which we will be doing in the next video. However, for now, let's go back to our chatbots and let's look at our leads database. And we should see a new lead created. And what will happen is it will show all the leads that have been collected from that chatbot. And we've only collected one, of course, because it's a new bot. And Mike has been created, and we have his first name and his last name. We have not collected any other information, which we can also collect through the chatbot or enter in manually. The neat thing about this, and we'll learn in the future video, is that this data can be used to do email, and that's it. So in this video, you've learned how to create your first chatbot, which we called Acme Anvil's bot. In the next video, we'll return to Acme Anvil's bot and fine-tune it, add some new capabilities and features to improve it, and show you how to actually publish it to a website. That's all for now. Look forward to seeing you next week.